I see that. And then all of a sudden, casting popped their head out of the door and they were like, Joanne, Eddie, you guys are next. And she was like, so I was like, okay. So we go in the room and we're going through the thing and we're doing our scenes together. It was the scene where, from the pilot where Pete shows up late and Micah's like, you're supposed to be a green. And he's like, well, I set this whole thing up. And then Micah calls Pete a showboat. But Joanne accidentally called me a showbot. She was like, listen here, you showbot. And I just went, showbot, showbot. And then I ended it with like a complete free association. The network people were all like, what are you doing? what has just happened in here? And Joanne's all nervous. She thought she was like, dude, and she punched me in the arm. And then, I kind of started laughing. I was like, I don't know, I'm just here, right? And then we walked out of the room, and Mark Stern, the head of the network, turned to everybody and was like, that's the show right there. Those two, what they just did in here, I want that to be the show. So yeah, so ironically, on what is an actor's biggest fear, making a mistake in the test room, became what actually got us the job, and that continued. The whole brother-sister thing throughout the show, which Joanne and I love, and we love that they didn't, we love that they didn't go down that road of, will they, won't they? It just was so cliche. The fact that they ended up thinking, if you haven't. I left off when the warehouse blew up. That's the last time I had anything. Rewind. Spoilers. Anyhow, it was fun working with her. Thank you very much. Wow. Hello.
It's Arthur, but you can call me Artie.
Artie.
That Artie in Warehouse 13 might be my older self.
Who knew? What's your question?
Question, since you are a Godzilla fan, what'd you think of the new Godzilla movie?
The new Godzilla movie. I was telling people, I'm a fan of the 1954 broad-nosed, evil-eyed, but it's 2014. Of course they're gonna manipulate it. They want to make Godzilla their own. But I just like the old one. I mean, I think that's just the way people. I think we all are kind of that way as fans. Like we want to dress up as the character that we remember when we were younger. So I like the old school Godzilla. I thought it was pretty good. I thought the acting was great. I thought the special effects were cool. My wife, who is, I always ask her, I was like, how did I marry you? Because literally I love sci-fi, I love monsters, I love sports. She loves none of that. I'm just like, what do we have in common, baby? Besides 2 kids. But she, after Godzilla, she was like, all right, not too bad. So I think it must be pretty good. I'll give it a B. I hear there's going to be 2 more, so with more Godzilla. Bad, woo, huh?
Might be
Well, they're doing another Star Wars, so after Jar Jar Binks, you gotta go up. We can do one more?
Just one more, we can do it.
All right, here we go. Hello. What's your name?
Joanna. Big fan of you on Warehouse 13. My question, I have 2 questions. One is, did Pete ever get his luggage? And 2, how do you think that you're alike with Pete Latimer on the show? Because meeting you in person seems a lot like you're really like Pete on the show.
Yes. Thank you. Good question. I'm sorry, babe. Here, do you want to throw your question?
Yeah. So, one episode you traveled back in time and you became Drac and Rebecca. If you were to do that in real life, where would you go and who would you become?
A great question. That's a great question.
Smarty pants. Thank you, babe. Good question. Thank you. Also, I'll answer both. If I could go back in time, who would I be? I think I would probably stay myself. But if I went back in time, I would go to all the concerts that I never was able to go to. You know, like I would go see the Doors, I would go see Led Zeppelin, I would go see the Moody Blues and Blood, Sweat, and Tears and all the music that my dad turned me on to when I was just a little baby. By the time I got to the age where I could actually go, and this is music that I'm sure that your mom will let you listen to because it's transcendental, as they say. You know, I mean, like you got Justin Bieber, like and I don't know. I'm sure that it's generational. Everybody's music is, you know. But I mean, the old music, the music that I grew up to and loved, actually, like, you know, whether or not it actually had meaning, it felt like it did. I mean, it was about social movements and you know, like, I love you, not look at the Mercedes-Benz that I drive that you don't have. It wasn't about look at the things that I have that you don't. It was more about how can we pull this thing together.
There's no need for swagger.
Yeah.
No swagger.
So I would go back and see all the great concerts that I've missed throughout time. Is that okay? Is that okay? And your question was, am I much like Pete? No. Look, when I went in to meet with Jack Kenny, who I'd also known, he was actually one of the producers of my first television show ever in 1998. It was a sitcom. So I'd known him for a long time, but he was like, so who do you want Pete to be? And I said, I want him to be a former Marine. I think it's important that we talk more and recognize the people who actually have sacrificed for our country. I think that they feel disregarded and forgotten. That's just a personal opinion. So I think it was important for me to recognize those people. I wanted him to be a former wrestler because that was such a huge part of my life. It really made me who I am. I wanted him to love comic books because I love Marvel. You know, I loved Marvel comic books. I'm still collecting. I always buy comics when I'm able to. I thought it was important for him to be sober. I thought because it was it's been so impactful on my life. I mean, if I hadn't decided to straighten my life out and get sober, I would not be here. I would not have my children. I would not have a life. So, like, that was really, and I think it gave Pete an excuse to be silly. Like, you go, oh my God, just when Pete's gotten too silly, you go, oh wow, he's sober, so he's flawed and he has depth. And I think it gave Pete depth. And, you know, like me, I'm very deep. I'm incredibly deep. I've read a book before. Mad Magazine. So Pete is me, I am Pete, and which made it so easy to come to work because I just showed up and just had fun. And I think that's what I wanted to project to the people who watch the show, and I hope that's what you guys were able to experience. Thank you so much.
Are there any upcoming projects we can find you in? What's going on in your life now?
Any upcoming projects? I leave tomorrow for Vancouver. I'm doing the show The Witches of East End with James Marsters. on Call of Duty out there. And not to be too self-promoting, but I create these T-shirts, these Warehouse 13 T-shirts. Does anybody do you want to do a turn and a twirl? So I designed these Warehouse 13 T-shirts, and I've got a suitcase full of them. I'm trying not to take any home with me, so if you want to come by my booth and grab a T-shirt. Where is the booth? Yeah, my autograph booth. It's at my
Over in Celebrity Row in the exhibition hall.
Is it free?
all right, if it helps you any, I'm right by Eliza Dushku. So
yes.
yeah, woohoo! I keep looking over like nothing. She don't even look over. I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry. Did I? Huh?
Well, maybe you can crash your panel today.
It's happening right now, ain't it? Yeah, she doesn't know. She doesn't even know I exist. You guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You understand? Like people come up and they're like, oh, you stand out here, you hug people, you talk to people. It's like, without you, there would be no me. So thank you.